Welcome to Rare Coin of USA, where forgotten pocket change can become life-changing treasure. Today, we are exposing 3 Roosevelt Dimes so unbelievably rare, so shockingly valuable that together, they are worth well over $1 million. And the most incredible part? Some of these legendary coins could still be hiding in everyday places, tucked inside old drawers, dusty piggy banks, coin jars, inherited collections, or even loose change passing through millions of hands across America every single day. These are not ordinary dimes. These are historic American rarities born during times of economic pressure, wartime metal shortages, minting mistakes, and mysterious production twists that the public was never supposed to notice. But a tiny number escaped into circulation, and today, those surviving pieces have become some of the most wanted treasures in the entire coin collecting world. Collectors chase them, dealers hunt them, auction houses fight over them, and when one appears in pristine condition, the price can explode into hundreds of thousands of dollars overnight. In this video, you are going to discover the hidden stories behind these incredible Roosevelt dimes, the rare dates, the minting errors, the secret details, and the tiny features that separate an ordinary 10-cent coin from a fortune worth more than most luxury homes. And trust me, coin number 1 is already shocking. Coin number 2 becomes even rarer. But coin number 3? That dime is so legendary that collectors consider it one of the greatest modern American coin discoveries ever made. So, before we begin, take a second to grab your coin jars, your old collections, or even the loose change sitting beside you right now, because after watching this video, you may never look at a Roosevelt dime the same way again. What you are about to see carries history, mystery, and unbelievable value. Proof that sometimes the smallest coins hold the biggest secrets. And by the end of this video, you will understand why checking your pocket change might be one of the smartest things you ever do. So stay tuned, because America's hidden wealth is about to be revealed. The 1982 Roosevelt dime with the DE mint mark may look like an ordinary 10-cent coin at first glance, but hidden among millions of these small silver-colored coins are a few extremely rare examples that collectors are willing to pay astonishing amounts of money to own. Struck at the famous Denver Mint, the 1982 D-dime was produced during a time when the United States Mint was pushing massive coin production to meet growing demand across the country. Billions of coins were flowing through the machines, and under that intense pressure, tiny mistakes and rare high-quality survivors began slipping into circulation unnoticed. Decades later, those overlooked dimes have become hidden treasures hiding in plain sight. What makes the 1982 D Roosevelt dime truly exciting is that some rare versions feature extraordinary minting errors, sharp full-band details on the torch, or nearly flawless surfaces that survived circulation untouched for over 40 years. Most people spend these coins without a second thought, but expert collectors carefully inspect every detail under magnification, because one tiny feature can mean the difference between 10 cents and thousands of dollars. A perfect condition 1982 D Roosevelt dime, graded at the highest levels, has sold for incredible prices at auction, stunning ordinary people who never imagined such a modern coin could become so valuable. One of the biggest reasons collectors chase this dime is the legendary full bands designation. On the back of the Roosevelt dime, the torch design contains horizontal bands near the center. On most coins, these bands appear weak or blended because of worn dies and fast production speeds. But on a tiny number of perfectly struck 1982 D dimes, the bands appear fully separated and razor sharp. Those rare examples are considered elite collector pieces, and when combined with brilliant, uncirculated condition, their values can skyrocket dramatically. Even more fascinating is the possibility of rare mint errors appearing on these coins. Some collectors have discovered off-center strikes, double strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, and other dramatic mint mistakes among 1982 D Roosevelt dimes. These unusual errors were never meant to leave the mint, yet somehow they escaped into circulation and became prized collectibles. Today, error coin hunters search through endless rolls of dimes, hoping to uncover one of these accidental masterpieces hiding among ordinary pocket change. Another reason this coin remains so important is its historical connection to America during the early 1980s. The country was experiencing economic uncertainty, inflation concerns, and major financial pressure. During this period, U.S. mint facilities were operating heavily to maintain coin circulation nationwide. That intense production environment created the perfect conditions for rare varieties and exceptional strike qualities to emerge unexpectedly. What once seemed like a common everyday dime slowly transformed into a collectible piece of American history. Collectors also love the 1982 Roosevelt dime because many examples remain undiscovered. Unlike ancient treasures locked inside museums, these coins can still appear in circulation today. People continue finding valuable Roosevelt dimes inside old jars, inherited collections, bank rolls, and forgotten boxes stored away for decades. That possibility keeps millions of collectors searching every single year, hoping the next coin they examine could change everything overnight. If you ever find a 1982 Roosevelt dime, do not ignore it. Carefully inspect the torch bands, look for unusual mint errors, examine the surfaces for strong luster, and check whether the details appear exceptionally sharp. Because hidden among ordinary dimes could be one of the rare survivors that collectors dream about owning. And if the right example appears in extraordinary condition, that tiny 10-cent coin could be worth far more than anyone ever expected. The 1995 Roosevelt dime with the P mint mark is one of the most underestimated modern coins ever produced by the United States Mint, yet hidden among billions of ordinary dimes are a few extraordinary examples that have stunned collectors with their incredible rarity and surprising value. Struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint, this small 10-cent coin was created during an era of massive coin production when minting machines operated at relentless speed to keep America's economy moving. Most of these dimes entered circulation unnoticed, blending into everyday pocket change, cash registers, and coin jars across the country. But over time, collectors began discovering that a tiny number of 1995 P. Roosevelt dimes possessed rare qualities that transformed them from simple currency into highly sought-after treasures. At first glance, the 1995 P dime looks completely ordinary, carrying the familiar image of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse and the classic torch design on the reverse. But experienced collectors know that the real story is hidden within the smallest details. On certain rare examples, the strike quality is exceptionally sharp, the surfaces remain nearly flawless, and the torch bands on the reverse appear fully separated with extraordinary precision. These rare coins are known as full bands examples, and they represent the highest level of quality for Roosevelt dimes. Because the Mint produced coins so rapidly during the mid-1990s, finding one with perfectly struck details became incredibly difficult, making these rare survivors extremely valuable today. The famous full bands designation is what separates ordinary Roosevelt dimes from elite collector pieces. Located near the center of the reverse torch design are small horizontal bands that should appear clearly divided. On most circulated or weakly struck coins, those bands blend together or appear incomplete due to worn dies and fast minting speeds. However, on a tiny percentage of 1995 P dimes, the bands remain fully split and razor sharp, creating a stunning appearance that collectors aggressively search for. When a coin displays full bands along with blazing mint luster and almost perfect preservation, its value can rise dramatically in the competitive coin market. What makes this coin even more fascinating is the possibility of rare mint errors hidden among surviving examples. Throughout the years, collectors have uncovered 1995 P. Roosevelt dimes featuring double dies, die cracks, broad strikes, clipped planchets, off-center strikes, and other dramatic production mistakes. These errors occurred during the minting process when machinery malfunctioned or coins moved improperly through the presses. While mint workers attempted to catch defective coins before release, a small number escaped into circulation unnoticed, where they traveled through America for years before finally being discovered by collectors and coin hunters. Today, those unusual error dimes are considered prized collectibles worth far more than their original 10-cent face value. The historical era surrounding the 1995 Roosevelt dime also adds to its collector appeal. America, during the mid-1990s, was experiencing rapid economic growth, technological advancement, and increasing consumer activity. To support this expanding economy, the United States Mint produced enormous numbers of circulating coins under intense production schedules. That pressure made perfect strikes increasingly rare because dies wore out quickly and machines prioritized speed over precision. As a result, only a very small number of 1995 P-dimes emerged with the flawless details and sharp strikes that modern collectors demand today. Another reason collectors remain obsessed with this coin is the thrilling possibility that undiscovered examples still exist in circulation. Unlike ancient treasures hidden inside museums or private vaults, these dimes entered everyday commerce and continue appearing in ordinary places. Valuable specimens could still be sitting inside forgotten piggy banks, family coin collections, old jars, vending machine returns, or bank-wrapped coin rolls waiting to be discovered. That possibility fuels endless excitement among collectors who carefully inspect every Roosevelt dime they encounter, knowing one rare coin could instantly become the highlight of an entire collection. High-grade examples of a 1995 P. Roosevelt dime are especially difficult to locate because most coins entered heavy circulation immediately after leaving the mint. Scratches, wear, and contact marks damage the majority of surviving pieces over time. But a few extraordinary examples escape circulation entirely, preserving their original luster and stunning strike quality for decades. When one of these elite-condition dimes appears at auction with a top professional grading score, collectors compete fiercely to own it, often driving prices to astonishing levels that seem unbelievable for such. The 1996 Roosevelt dime with the P mint mark is one of those modern American coins that most people overlook every single day, yet hidden among ordinary pocket change are a few extraordinary examples that have become highly valuable collector treasures. Produced at the historic Philadelphia Mint, this dime was struck during a year when the United States Mint was operating at enormous production levels to keep up with nationwide demand for circulating coinage. Millions upon millions of dimes rolled out of the minting presses at incredible speed, but somewhere within that sea of ordinary coins, a tiny number emerged with stunning strike quality, rare minting abnormalities, and exceptional preservation that now make collectors willing to pay astonishing prices. At first glance, the 1996 P. Roosevelt dime appears completely ordinary. It carries the familiar portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the front and the iconic torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse. But serious coin collectors know that the true value of a coin is often hidden in the smallest details. On rare high-grade examples of a 1996 P-dime, the design details appear incredibly sharp, the luster shines with brilliant intensity, and the famous torch bands on the reverse display full separation with almost perfect clarity. These rare full bands examples are considered elite modern coins because so few were struck with such precision during high-speed production. The full bands designation is one of the most important features collectors search for on Roosevelt dimes. Near the center of the torch are horizontal lines called bands. On ordinary coins, these bands are often weak, blurry, or incomplete because the dies became worn during massive production runs. But on a very small number of 1996 P-dimes, those bands appear fully split and sharply defined, creating a level of detail that experts consider extremely difficult to find. When a coin combines full bands with pristine mint state preservation, its value can rise dramatically, sometimes reaching thousands of dollars in major auctions. Another reason this coin has become so fascinating is the discovery of rare mint errors among surviving examples. Over the years, collectors have uncovered 1996 P-dimes with double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, broad strikes, and other unusual minting mistakes that transformed ordinary dimes into collectible rarities. These errors happened during the chaotic minting process when machinery operated continuously under heavy demand. While most flawed coins were destroyed before leaving the mint, a handful escaped into circulation, where they remained unnoticed for years until sharp-eyed collectors finally discovered them. What makes the 1996 P-dime especially exciting is that many valuable examples may still remain undiscovered today. Unlike rare gold bars locked away in vaults, these coins entered everyday circulation and traveled through countless hands across America. Some may still be hiding inside forgotten piggy banks, inherited coin jars, dresser drawers, old cash registers, or bank-wrapped rolls sitting quietly in storage. That possibility creates an endless treasure hunt for collectors who carefully examine every Roosevelt dime they find, hoping to uncover one of these hidden modern rarities. The historical timing of this coin also adds to its appeal. By 1996, America was entering a rapidly changing modern economy driven by technology, financial expansion, and growing consumer spending. The U.S. Mint was producing enormous quantities of circulating coins to support the country's expanding economy, and the pressure of high-speed production made perfectly struck examples increasingly difficult to create. That combination of mass production and rare perfection is exactly why the finest surviving 1996 P-dimes are so difficult to locate today. Collectors are especially attracted to coins that combine rarity with accessibility, and the 1996 P. Roosevelt dime fits that description perfectly. Anyone can potentially find one in circulation, yet only a tiny percentage possess the sharp details and flawless surfaces required to command major value. This creates enormous excitement within the coin collecting community because even a simple-looking dime could secretly be worth far more than its face value. Stories continue to emerge of collectors discovering valuable Roosevelt dimes in ordinary places, proving that hidden treasures still exist in everyday life. If you ever come across a 1996 Roosevelt dime with the P Mint mark, take a closer look before spending it. Examine the torch bands carefully, search for unusual doubling or striking errors, and check whether the surfaces remain bright and nearly untouched. Because among the billions of ordinary dimes produced that year, a few extraordinary survivors have become prized collector legends. And if you happen to discover one of those rare high-grade or error examples,